Found a little museum of clay pipes here. This one's this was complete. There we go. They both go together like that. That way round. And it's even got the bite marks where the miner actually bit it to hold it into his mouth at the end. See that little dent there? That's where his teeth would have held it into his mouth. That's bringing history alive right there. Got a water flask or a gunpowder flask here with the stopper. And this clay pipe has it's a head figure. You can see one of his ears and the hair. What appears to be a laurel wreath carved into the pipe bowl.
So why would they leave like pipes in here?
This is what was called a croice, which was like a mess area, an alcove where they used to eat lunch. And they'd probably leave the pipes down here because they'd have them, each day. Either they broke and they just left the fragments here, presumably because these were all broken. Bits that broke or they dropped them, they would have just left them here instead of bothering taking them back up again. I would imagine, I'm not sure for sure. But quite impressive. Oh yeah, bit of string. All sorts of bits and bobs. And lots of pumps as well. You see the pumping pipes over there, rising main. Those were the pumping column in the shaft. Spare pieces, I presume. Very impressive. Full of artifacts down here. We're about 450 feet below surface by now, and we've still got more to go. We've got a clack door piece here, or a clack valve, which was there's a maintenance hatch on one side for entering the rising main, the pumping pipe, which would have been vertical in the shaft. And inside there was a valve, a leather flap or a valve, so that when the water was sucked up by the pump rods, it would be held in place while the pump rods returned down the stroke, and then it would be sucked up again, then held in place and sucked up. So like a non-return valve, essentially. That's what that is. Extremely heavy bit of kit. There's my foot next to it. You can see how big it is. Huge. The maintenance hatch on the side. Lovely. And the good news is below us here, we've actually still got the rising main, the pipes still in place. See them going down there with an old wagon that's fallen down and wedged across. Preparing the next descent down to about 600 feet below surface. It's all well and easy going down. It's coming back up that's going to be knackering.
We are in meters now.
In meters, we're about 200 meters below the surface, which is a long way up there. And the shaft is actually almost completely choked with debris now, so we're going to have to scramble down through all of this to get to the bottom level. Hopefully it's still open just down there. So we've taken our harnesses off. We can leave them here because there's no more rope climbing. So we are a very long way down, as is it, about 200 meters, or going on for 700 feet below the top of the mountain. And so therefore we are going to go down again. Oh, the zip's caught. Well, this level is almost full of mud. It's almost completely full of mud, so we're going to have to slide over this lot now. This is the lowest level but one, 710 feet below surface. That's where we are now. And we've climbed down all of that. And we've got yet to climb back up it. This pipe here, did some research on this, and this is part of what's called a water blast. installation, and a water blast was a form of ventilation, whereas water was blasted by gravity fell down a pipe in a shaft in order to pull air with it, and ended up into a wooden cistern at the bottom, and that movement of air formed sufficient ventilation for the miners. So in order to ventilate the workings at the end of this level, where there is a shaft which needed ventilation, the water which comes down this shaft feeds down along this pipe and down the water blast into the shaft. You'll see what I mean further on. Sorry, say again. Sorry?
Forgotten my trousers for mud, but you said I should be okay with them, yeah?
Yeah, you'll be alright, yeah. You might get a bit wet, but... yeah, probably easier, isn't it? Oh dear. Yeah.
No footprints to save.
Hey?
No miners' footprints to save.
No, there's nothing in this. It's all sort of washed in since, I think. There's that water blast pipe that conveyed the water from the main shaft. We've just come down to the second shaft further along, where it was shot down a vertical pipe, and that movement of water sucked down the air with it in the pipe, and that formed a sort of ventilator. And it was installed on the 18th of June 1874, apparently. It's quite a lonely feeling, actually, to think how far down we are. We've never abseiled so deep before. 200 metres, 700 feet. It's quite deep to have abseiled, and of course we have yet to climb all the way back up. That's the hard part. But it does give a certain feeling of almost loneliness to be so far from daylight, from the surface. And to imagine the people who spent their whole lives working down here every day, well, 6 days a week, all year round. And it sort of puts things into perspective a bit for me, anyway. This is something, that we've never done before. We've never gone this deep on ropes before, 700 feet, 200 metres. And to actually have gotten into this level as well is a real achievement for me personally, because hopefully we're treading new ground here. We don't know what we're going to find. We haven't got a clue what we're going to find. Oh, there's a really squelchy mud. Almost got stuck there. Level goes on. The mountain rises even more going in this direction, so we're probably getting on for 800 feet below the surface by now, because the mountain's going up and up on the surface. Tom's found something up there. Oh, knee deep in mud. What have we got? Oh wow, look at that.
Well, you haven't been here.
Wow, look at that. It's a wagon.
You haven't been here before.
Nope.